recorded in a while, I haven't posted in a while, and there's just been a lot going on. So as it being like 4 to 5 months later, you're probably realizing that I'm probably not pregnant anymore, and no, I'm not. So one reason why I haven't really posted anything is because I've had Ella. Ella is my daughter. She was born August 5th, 2019 at 1:07 p.m. A lot of you were like asking like if we were sticking with the name Harper and all that, and no, we didn't. We ended up naming her Ella, so now I have Emma and Ella. And if you're new and you're like, what's going on, Ella is my first, did I say Ella? No, I meant Emma is my first born daughter. She is now 1. She just turned 1 in July. And then I had Ella a month later. And they're a year and a month apart exactly. Well, just about. Emma was born on the 6th, and then Ella was born on the 5th. So it was like a year and a month later. So, but that's also why I haven't posted. And then we've just recently went through a move. And yeah, it's just been really crazy trying to adjust to having 2 and to getting Emma used to having a little sister and having to share, you know, her mom and dad because she was used to being the only child. So it's just been a lot going on. So I figured for this video, instead of just sitting here like explaining why I haven't posted and stuff, I thought that I could also answer a few questions that people have had and that I've been asked a lot. I'm not going to do too many questions because I don't want this video to be like super long for the first one that I decide to post. If I do end up uploading this, I don't know for sure if I'm going to. So I have some questions here that I got asked pretty frequently. I said that right, I think. So I'll just go ahead and start answering those just so we can get a pretty clear like understanding of what's been going on and everything that's been happening. And I'm really sorry about the background right here. There's not really good lighting. As you can tell, this lighting really sucks. We need to like, I don't know if we need to get like brighter light bulbs or something. And like I said, we just moved in, so there's like boxes everywhere. It's crazy. Once we get like really moved in and we get all the furniture and stuff, I will do like a house tour, but for now we're not. So I have a pretty good amount of questions that I will go ahead, and if I'm looking down, it's because I'm looking at the phone. I'll go ahead and ask or answer that everyone else asked. So yeah, let's just get into that. One question I got asked this a lot, honestly, and it's, am I working? And the answer to that is no. I am currently not working. I do, however, plan on going back to work, just not quite yet. Ella's 2 months old now. She just turned 2 months old yesterday. So I'm probably going to wait a little while before I do go back to work, just to where she's a little bit older, because I don't really feel comfortable with putting her in daycare right now with how young she is. So yeah, there's that. Another one I was asked was, are you breastfeeding? And no, I'm not breastfeeding. I didn't breastfeed either one of my kids. I tried with Emma, but she had a lip tie, so she wouldn't latch, and I tried for like months with her and it just didn't work. And then with Ella, I actually did plan on breastfeeding, and Ella did latch on like perfectly the first time, you know, she got it right then. But after I had Ella and I started breastfeeding, whenever she would breastfeed, I would get like super dizzy and I would literally start throwing up. And then, sorry. And then like also, I don't know, just breastfeeding wasn't for me. And I know that like, it's like really good for the child and everything, and I did the what they call liquid gold, which is a colostrum. I did breastfeed that, but after that, and it was just milk, I did stop breastfeeding and I put her on formula. And so yeah, I know I'm not breastfeeding. Next question. How old was your baby daddy when you first got pregnant? My baby daddy, who is now my fiance, yes, we're still together, he was 16 going on 17 whenever we found out I was pregnant with Emma. So he was like a year younger than me, I do believe. So yeah, he was pretty much younger than me. So yeah, whenever, I think it was like a month after we found out I was pregnant, he was turning 17. So like he was 16 when we found out, but then like after like 2 months into my pregnancy, he turned 17. So there's that one. Was labor? I think they meant labor, but it's spelled wrong. So, was labor easier the first time or second time? Honestly, I don't know if I noticed much of a difference. It was both pretty short, like both times. On both of my deliveries and labor and everything, my water was broken and I was induced. With Emma, she was born at 4:24 and I was technically in labor, like pushing for like 20 minutes. And then with Ella, I would say the only thing that was complicated, like it wasn't like during labor, but after I had Ella, I was like still bleeding a lot. Like they couldn't stop the bleeding and I was losing a lot of blood. So they did end up having to do like a blood transfusion for me. So I would say that was like the most complicated. But I mean, I wouldn't say that either one was easier, because after I got the epidural, they like basically were both the same, if that makes sense. The only thing that was different for this delivery was I was like curious about Emma the whole time, because we didn't have Emma whenever I had Ella. We couldn't have Emma stay the night with us. So like whenever I was in labor, all that was going through my mind was Emma, and I was thinking like, I wish Emma could be here, you know, like whenever Emma meets Ella, I don't know what she's gonna think, having to share her parents now out of nowhere and just having this new baby. So I was just like going through that a lot, which with Emma I didn't have to think about any of that because I didn't have any other kids. So I would say that's the only thing that was really different. What's the hardest part of having 2 under 2? Right now, I would definitely say it's like the jealousy between that like Emma has, and then the middle of the night feedings. I never sleep trained Emma. Whenever she was little, she was in her own bed, and then she got really sick. Well, not really sick, but she had trouble breathing, and she would throw up because she would choke on her formula. Like it would be like stuck in her throat, acid, and then she would end up throwing it up in the middle of the night. And then she had a really bad cough one night, and we ended up taking her to the hospital. But because of that, the doctor recommended her sleeping with us, and ever since then she hasn't really wanted to go back into her own bed and like be by herself. So that's one thing that's hard, because since she's sleeping in our bed, Ella's like right next to her, not like literally. Ella's in her own bed, the bassinet, but like if Ella wakes up throughout the night and she starts crying, anytime Emma will like peek up and see me going to get Ella, Emma's wide awake. So then after Emma's wide awake, it's so hard to get her back to sleep. So they just wake each other up. Like there has been multiple nights where I like get Ella in the bassinet and we go sleep in the living room, just because it's so much easier that way, because Emma's still in here with Donald, which is the father. So she's still in here with him, so she's fine, and I'll just take Ella and I'll go sleep on the couch. And that usually works until Emma realizes that I'm not there, and then she'll end up getting up and crying, and then I'll come back in here with Ella. But yeah, and then also like if Donald's at work and I'm here with the girls by myself and I'm like showing any attention to Ella whatsoever, Emma will like freak out, and she will like drop to the floor, start throwing a huge tantrum, and she will just freak out. So yeah, I definitely think those are the two hardest things. It's a lot of patience and understanding, and not getting like frustrated at Emma whenever she's acting that way, because she's not used to having to share parents. You know, for a year she was the baby, she was getting all of our attention, and then it went straight to, oh, you know, that was my mom, but now she's showing you all this attention. So it's like understanding and seeing where she's coming from, it's just a lot of patience. So I would definitely say those are the two hardest factors of all that. Okay, sorry about that little like stop. Ella started crying, so I had to go and get her. So I will just start again with the questions, just so this video is not too long. The next question was, how did you lose weight after birth? Really, I didn't really do anything to lose the weight. I kind of just went back to my regular weight. The bump mainly was just the baby. The weight on my thighs I still have and everything, and I'm not like back down to where I was before I got pregnant. I'm at 126 right now, and I was at 120 before Ella and after Emma. And before I got pregnant with Emma, I was like 120, 119, like 117, stuff like that. So I'm not like back down to my weight, and I didn't really lose the weight. It was mainly the bump. But one thing is my appetite. Since like having Ella, like, yes, it's only been 2 months, and I think like my body's like trying to get used to not needing to eat all the time, because with Ella I was eating all the time, and now I don't really eat that much. I probably eat like twice a day, and even then I'm not really hungry. I just make myself eat, but I don't really have an appetite much at all, so that's probably a big factor in that. So yeah. Did you get postpartum depression? This time not as bad as I did after Emma. I feel like this is like something nobody really talks about, because I feel like whenever you talk about postpartum depression, if you did get it, I feel like people like look at you differently if you did end up getting it, but that's just my opinion. I did get it with Emma after I had her. I got it pretty bad, honestly, but after Ella, I didn't get it near as bad as I had it with Emma, but I did get it this time. I wouldn't say I was like really depressed, but I like went through like this phase of like just feeling alone and really confused and lost. And yeah, so I would say, yeah, I probably did get it. But it was worse with Emma than it is with Ella. Do y'all live alone? Yes, as I just said, that we just moved and everything. I live with Donald. Well, me and Donald live together, and then we have Emma and Ella. Yes, we do have our own house. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, but the girls' bedroom, it's just like with a crib and a playpen, and then their dressers and their clothes and stuff and their toys, because like I said, Ella obviously sleeps in the room with us because she's a newborn, so she sleeps next to us in her bassinet, and then Emma sleeps in the bed with us because she's not crib trained. So their room is really just for storage right now. Did you have a C-section? No, I didn't have a C-section with either of my girls. It was both vaginal. Did you stick with Harper for the name? I've already mentioned her name. No, I did not end up sticking with Harper. I didn't really feel that name a lot. Like, I didn't really enjoy it. Donna really liked the name Harper, but after like thinking for a while, we decided to do Ella, and I wasn't really good with Ella either. I really wanted to name her Eastlyn, but Donald didn't like that name, so we stuck with Ella. That's a name he also really liked, so I figured it was better than Harper. Harper, just I never pictured me naming my kid Harper. Like, I love the name Harper, but I wouldn't want to name my kid Harper, so we ended up doing Ella Marie Wiles. Does having kids affect your relationship? Honestly, yes. Good and bad. Having the kids, it helped us grow together more than I think we would have if we wouldn't have had kids. It's helped us not be all about just me and him, because before it was just me and him, and it helped us like grow together as people and as like a team. It helped us, because before Emma, we like didn't really agree on a bunch of things, like as our own person, of like what was in our best interest. So I think after having kids, it like taught us that it's like teamwork and we have to work together on things, and if like we want to succeed rather than just giving up. But I do also think that it can affect our relationship in bad ways too. Like sometimes we're both just stressed, and then we don't really have like the time alone that we need unless the girls are at their grandma's. So I feel like there's a lot of things like parenting skill wise that we don't agree on, like spanking, disciplining. I just feel like there's a lot of stuff like parental wise that we don't agree on that could affect our relationship and just how we think the kid should be raised. Like we both have our own opinions on that, and it's stuff that we have to go together and talk about and understand each other's sides and realize that it's not my choice or it, we come together for the choice, and it has to be both of us or it's not going to work. So I don't want to say that kids like ruin our relationship, but there have been times where we just think about like if it would be better if we weren't together and if we just did co-parenting. But I think that's something that every couple goes through, no matter what it is, with or without kids. You're gonna argue, you're gonna fight. I definitely do think that having kids so young and having all that stress definitely puts like stress and negative things on your relationship. But I think it really just depends on the person. Like there's been times where we've thought about just like going our separate ways and just doing what we need to do for the girls, but at the end of the day we realized that we both love each other and we probably couldn't do it without each other. Not like the girls, but just being away from each other. We've spent the last 4 years of our lives with each other every day. Like I don't think I could fall asleep without him. But I don't know. I wouldn't say it affects it in a bad way or anything like that, because I don't want to make our relationship sound like it's horrible, because there is probably worse out there. But I also don't want to say that having kids fixes everything, because it definitely does not. It does make a relationship 1,000 times harder than not having kids would. And especially being young, having to worry about money, having to worry about like bills and everything the kid needs. And then at the end of the day, you're just tired from having to do all that, and then you don't really have time for each other. It can put like a big change on like your sex life, because now you can't just go and do what you want to do with your partner because you have a baby and you're like, oh well, we can't do it right now. You know, whenever you get into it, the baby starts crying. So I do think that there's a lot of things that are different, but I wouldn't say they're like negative or like make our relationship harder, although they do. Okay, do you have any tattoos? Yes, I just got my first tattoo right here. I got this Monday, so like 6 days ago, and then I got a Texas on my leg. I'll post pictures of that soon. Do you plan on going back to work? Yes, I think I've already said this, but I do plan on going back to work whenever Ella's a little bit older, and just because I don't feel comfortable putting her in daycare right now. But yeah, so I think that's going to be all the questions I answer for now. If you have any questions or anything and want me to do another Q&A, maybe with Donald or something, I will. I don't know if I like covered everything in this, and it was probably like all over the place. So yeah, I'm just going to end this right here. And I will post like pictures from Emma's first birthday and then what she looks like now, and I will post pictures of Ella. And yeah, so I'm going to end it right here, like I said like 5 times. Thank y'all so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you on my next video.